Milky Buns, does whatever the Milky Buns does.
Hey guys, it's Exa and Milky here today to do a fun renovation on his rabbit room. So we are going to be redoing a flooring that is going to be waterproof and safe for him to walk around on, as well as protect the hardwoods underneath. So without further ado, I'm going to stop playing with my cute little bun bun and get started on renovating his room for him. Room. Right now, as you can see, it's pretty much an empty room with nice original hardwood floors. So I'm going to cover those with a vinyl flooring and then reset up his room and give him some cute stuff to play with. And in the updates, I've adopted some doggos. So this is Tubi. She is a big fluffy Malamute coming to say hi. That is Loki Pokey. We love him. They're my big fluffums. They're not usually allowed in this room because it's the bunny's room. So enjoy it while you can, guys. Here's our supplies for our new flooring. First, I have some peel and stick vinyl flooring. As you can see, it's pretty similar to the original color of my floors. I want it to sort of look like it blends in with the rest of the house, but I obviously want to protect my real wood. So we got the vinyl stuff that we're going to cover the floor with. Now, since I don't want to actually stick this vinyl flooring onto my nice hardwoods, because that would be a pain to get up, the sticky glue residue is going to ruin the gel coat on the top of the floors, and just kind of be an all-around mess. So we're actually going to turn it into a floating floor on top by using some plastic sheeting. Basically, this is the stuff that you use for painting, like drop cloth tarps, but a little bit thicker. So we're going to put that around the whole room, and then stick this flooring on top, and put new quarter panel molding up on the edge to make a completely sealed in waterproof room. That's also why I'm using the vinyl peel and stick stuff instead of some of the pre-made floating floors, because those are not as waterproof, which is what I want for these bunnies, so that way the flooring holds up longer to them peeing, dumping water bowls over, scratching and clawing at them, and all of that. Also, the ones that are waterproof tend to be like $3 to $4 a square foot, whereas this stuff's like $1 a square foot. It makes it much more cost effective for doing this rabbit room. So with that, let's go ahead and get started on the flooring. Alright, so now that you can see, I have spread out the plastic on this half of the room. Now I do have some furniture in here because this is my dining room, which I moved the table into the living room, but my rabbits are going to be sharing with the bar area still, and we'll put up a bit of gating to kind of separate those pieces of furniture off, but I need to wait for the boyfriend to get home to help me move this furniture. So we will start with the flooring on this side, and then go the other way. So when I spread this out, I am leaving a bit of a gap, as you can see on all the sides, going up the wall a little bit. That's going to help make sure that we have a continuous seal when we put the flooring and the trim on. So I'll put the flooring butt up against here and have this little flappy bit hanging over. Then we can put the trim up and kind of, cut this down a little bit if needed so it's hidden behind the new trim on the wall. So I'm going to start in this corner and I'm going to run these boards this direction. I realize it's the opposite of what the flooring underneath is. No particular reason for that. I don't know, I feel like I like the direction of the boards running that way better for my rabbit room and the layout that I'm going to do with the hutch over here, and everything. So yeah, let's get started. Here's what our boards look like. There's kind of flexible, 6 inches wide. Each one is 36 inches long. So same length. We're going to have to stagger them from row to row, or otherwise the ends seams will be in the same spot and it'll look really funky. But we'll do that in a minute. So basically they just have this plastic on the back. We're going to take one. We're going to line him up in this corner here without the backing and kind of just stick him down and keep going. Alright, so there is our first board down. Attached to our plastic, floating on top, tucked into the corner. Got a little lip edge on the sides here. Anyway, so here's our first piece down, and laying the second, we're going to put it end to end with this first one. So what I'm going to do is kind of peel the backing just a little bit, because we won't want it to stick to the plastic before we're ready. We're going to line him up end to end, nice and tight. Lay him down and kind of get that edge in. So end to end here, and then we can kind of just peel this back and stick as we go. You see, just like that, so that way it's getting a nice smooth seal the whole way down. Just peel that up and squish them down. Just like that, and we'll continue and do the whole floor like this. So I'll be back with a progress update in a little bit. Alright, since we have most of our first row done, I just put one of the boxes on top of it there to weigh it down so it stays in the corner. But once I get down here to the other end, now that we're at the other end, we're going to have to do some fun trimming because obviously this guy is not going to fit, and we have this funky angle going on in the corner here. So I'm going to take some cardboard and I'm going to make a little mold template that I can cut my board to. Alright, so I made my little template here. Cardboard, I just sort of like cut away little pieces bit by bit until I could get it to fit in this corner here. So we're actually going to trim this edge first, and then the board length will obviously go past there. So we'll have a nice, easy, straight edge cut there to do the final fitting. That's easier than trying to guesstimate exactly how far this distance is with this one and kind of get that to fit in place first. So we will trace that onto our vinyl and kind of cut him away first and to get that weird shape. Here's our edge. So this is the part we want to remove. This is the part we want to keep on our board. So I'm just going to kind of cut along here and then straight across to sort of cut this in slivers piece by piece to make sure I don't snap the end of the board part that I want to keep. Alright, so now I did end up trimming some of this just because fitting on that curve was a little weird. But also I'm not super worried because this is where the edging ends right here at the baby gate that I have. So, you know, I'm not super worried. I am going to be shifting the baby gate up here a little bit so that way this end of all these will fall underneath it. You'll see that when I'm done with that part of the step. But yeah, I'm not super worried about having crazy waterproofing right here on the edge because obviously water could spill over and get onto the real hardwoods that underneath them anyway. But we're going to make sure that we keep any of the wet items for the rabbits over that way where it'll be all sealed in and away from this entrance here. But yeah, as you can see, that kind of fits in. So now we can stick it. We're going to start from this end and go that way and stick it down. And then you can see where this overlap is. We will trim this board right up there so that way it butts up nicely to the board next to it. So now that we have this short, nice straight edge piece that came off of this one, we're going to start our next row up there using this piece. Like I said, all the boards are the same length. We don't want these seams to all be in the same spot. It'll look weird. So we're going to start using this guy, then go into full length boards, and that means all the seams will be staggered. Okay, so here is a little update. Got a bunch of the flooring started here. Yes, you know, cruising along with rows. Nice and easy. When I did get down here to the bottom, again, because I'm going to have the gate over top of them, I just cut a diagonal line here for those, and then we'll go back to cutting straight edges along there. And as you can see, I'm just staggering where all the boards end, one by one, so that way everything's kind of in a different space, and they don't all line up on the seams and look really weird. But yeah, we're just gonna keep cruising along. A little less than a quarter done, probably. Yeah. So for the end seam of this door, as I mentioned, I do have this baby gate covering it. So basically I just trimmed each piece so they end up in a straight line along the edge here. So if you open the gate, you can see that the flooring plastic goes just the tiniest bit over the side here, and that is the sealed edge. For my other doorway here, as this flooring did already have a kind of a threshold to go up to the tile floor from the existing one underneath it, I did just trim a couple of the boards lengthwise so they fit nice and smooth against this edge, which you can do that for yours as well, or if you don't have a threshold up and it just ends at your other floor, you could just trim it straight across here at the doorway and it'll make its own little thin edge here. This is actually the same flooring that I did in my bathroom, but just to show you another way to seam, if it goes up on the edge, you can put like some thin trim or caulk or something along the seal here to make it kind of a smooth transition so you don't just stub your toes on the edge. And remove these, got those set back up where they are on top of the new flooring. So next we're going to install all of our trim that's going to go around the walls all through here. Alright guys, so putting our trim molding on here, I am using my miter saw to cut those on a 45-degree angle so that way the pieces don't have a flat seam and they sort of overlap. And then I'm going to be using my drill here and drilling a couple pilot holes with the small drill bit, and then we're going to use our finishing nails to kind of hold those in place. So as each piece roughly being 8 foot long, they'll have about 4 seams on them, one at the seam overlapping, a couple in the middle to help hold it on firm, and then one at the other edge of the seam. So once we have our holes drilled, then we can go ahead and hammer in our finishing nails. Now I am doing the pilot holes because I am using a composite board on here and it's really hard to just drill a nail straight through. Additionally, if you are doing this with wood, you're probably still going to want to drill that pilot hole so that you don't splinter the wood, and it's just kind of a good practice to have a nice even hole and it's not going to do anything funky with your finish. So as you see here, I have one on the end, one I just put in the middle, and then one here on the other edge at this corner. Depending on the length of your boards, you might have a few more nails in the middle, but roughly every 1.5 feet or so is a good distance. Alright guys, so now we have the flooring all done, the trim up. Obviously the dogs are going to have to move out of here in a minute so we can put our baby bunny back. Start bringing in his toys, and I will show you guys the finished, modified bunny room in a few minutes. So to finish his rabbit room up here, I have some stone pavers, which these are nice because Milky likes to scratch and trim his own claws. And they're just big concrete stepping stones basically, but they look really cute. And they're nice and cool for him to lay on as well when it's hot out in the summer. And I have that connected to his little bridge, which I got on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below. And then I just have a piece of like AstroTurf, which is actually for like dog indoor pee pad training things, but it just gives a nice variety of textures for him to touch, and that is on the bottom of this little garden fence thing I found to make him his own little grass pen, basically. And we got your new litter box system, so you can't spread hay all over the house as much in this nice handy container. It makes it nice and organized and easy. We have a mat under the water bowl, so that way when he dumps that over inevitably, it doesn't sink the floor as much. I wasn't ready to give that to you yet. Fine, little greedy bugger. And we took the puppy's old stairs that used to be on my bedroom to get up on the bed and put them in here. So now he has his own staircase to see out the window. It makes it so nice having the system. So he has one of the rabbit litter boxes with a puppy pad on the bottom and then the little grate tray there to help clean up his poops. And I got sick of him spreading his hay everywhere, so now I put it inside of a plastic tub there with all of his food and hay, so that way he can poop and eat at the same time and not make as much of a mess in my house. It's a pretty good system, I think. And there's his hutch for him to play in. And here's this nice storage container with all of his treats, snacks, grooming supplies, etc. His hay is all in the elephant on the top there. There's the puppy again. So guys, there you have it. Here is our completed bunny room. Yeah, I put the gate up here from his old pen fencing when he was in a different part of the house just to protect my hardwood and stuff from here, so that way he doesn't chew on it or get stuck underneath the furniture or anything like that. And this is nice and loose, so when I need to get into the cabinet, I can just kind of pull it over here, get in, do my business, and then I can push it back so that way he has maximum amount of space to play in. What do you want? You want a yogurt treat? Ooh, freeze-dried bananas. Do you like those? Yeah, we want the bananas. Okay, we'll get a banana. Excuse you two. You're not... I might give you a banana. Hold on. Here you go, baby boy. Here you go. Say thank you. All right, you want a banana too? Do you like your new home? Hi, buddy. Hi. Who's my handsome little man?